All right, so I think this is recording. Let's take a look here at number 5. That we have two rational expressions. They want us to multiply together to write our rational expression in lowest terms, and to also state any restrictions that we have. Restrictions come in arithmetic from we never want to divide by 0. We also never want to take the square root of a negative number, but we don't have square roots here, so we don't have to worry about that. But we do have variables in the denominator, so there might be values of this variable that would cause division by 0. We can't allow a denominator to ever be 0. But let's start out by writing these two fractions as a single fraction. Let's multiply the two numerators together and multiply the two denominators together. Well, we need to put parentheses around that binomial if we're going to multiply it by 6x. So we've got 21x squared minus 21x times 6x. And in the denominator, we have 18x squared minus 18x times 6x squared. Now, it's going to be a little bit difficult to continue this without us trying to factor these binomials further. We need things to be in factored form. So let's come off to the side, and let's take a look at 21x squared minus 21x. I'm going to write 21x squared as 21x times x. And I'm going to write 21x as 21x times 1. And look at what I have. In the first term and in the second term, I have something in common, 21x. I'm going to factor out that 21x. So in the first term, what I have left is an x. And in the second term, what I have left is a 1. So I can rewrite this binomial as 21x times x minus 1. Well, I want to look at the denominator here and kind of do the same idea with 18x squared. I'm going to 18x squared minus 18x. I'm going to write 18x squared as 18x times x. I'm going to write this as 18x times 1. And again, I see that I have common factors in both terms. So I'm going to factor out that common factor. In the first term, I just have x, and in the second term, I just have my minus 1 there. All right, so let's come back to our problem. And this binomial in factored form is 21x times x minus 1. And don't forget that we're multiplying that by 6x. In the denominator, we have this 18x times x minus 1 times 6x squared. Let's write x squared as x times x. All right. So now, when I look at this denominator in this factored form, it's a lot easier for me to see what my restrictions are going to be. Now, up here it was easy to see that 0 was a restriction. If x is equal to 0, 0 times anything is 0. But it was a little bit harder to look at this binomial and recognize that x can't be 1, because 1 minus 1 gives me 0, and 0 times anything is 0. All right, let's look and see what we have that's common to both terms. I have an x that's common to both terms. They divide to 1. I have a binomial x minus 1 and x minus 1. They divide to 1. I have a 6 divided by 6. That divides to 1. I have another factor of x that cancels. And let's look and see what we have. So in this numerator, everything has canceled except 21. And in the denominator, everything has canceled except 18 times x. And of course, our restrictions was 0 and 1. Now, you have enough experience with numbers and stuff to look at 21 and 18 and realize that that can still be reduced. That we can look at 21 as 3 times 7. I can look at 18 as 3 times 6. Don't forget my x there. And I have to shrink this up again. I've run out of room. All right. Now, it's easy to see in this factored form that 3 divided by 3 is 1, and that those cancel. Now 6, you can further factor it to 2 times 3, but it doesn't have any common factor with 7 right there. So our final answer is 7 over 6 times x, provided that x was never equal to 0 or 1, because then 0 divided by 0 is not equal to 1, and it would not simplify. This is our final answer. All right, well, I hope that helps. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.